channel. Welcome, and in this tutorial we are going to look at we are looking at calculus, how to how to differentiate a function by quotient rule, how to differentiate by quotient rule. So stay tuned and enjoy the live class, okay? So let us know where you're watching from. Stay tuned, enjoy the live class. We'll be looking at how to use chain rule to differentiate a function. It is very, very easy to understand the concept. What is chain rule? How do we use chain rule? And what are the tricks that one can use to be able to solve problems of differentiation? Okay, so stay tuned and see how the class will look like. It's very interesting. Do well to hit the like button. Also, share the live. Invite your friends to join so that we can actually continue. Okay, let us know where you're watching from. We'll be looking at chain rule, form of differentiation, and how to differentiate using chain rule. So it is very easy. Okay, so stay tuned and enjoy the class. If you have any question, let us know in the comments so we can look at it easily. Okay, so welcome to the class. Okay, whenever we have in chain rule, whenever we have a function using chain rule, let's say we have a function y, a function y, and applying chain rule, in chain rule, differentiating y with respect to x. For instance, using chain rule is the same thing as what? Differentiating y with respect to u times differentiating u with respect to x. This type of formula in calculus is very, very important as we use it to differentiate a function that might seem difficult to expand. For instance, remember when we have a function, when y is x power n, remember that if you are differentiating y with respect to x, all you need to do is just to multiply the power to the constant minus 1 from the what? Power. So this is the easiest way to differentiate a function. That's the general formula for differentiation. Okay, it is very easy and it is very simple to actually understand. So if you understand this, it will help you, especially to pass the upcoming exams and many others. Okay, so stay tuned and understand how these solvings are going. If you have any question, you can always drop it in the comments for us to tackle it together. Okay, thank you for saying nice. Where are you watching from? Let's know in the comments where you are watching from. So let's say we have a function. Let's say we are told that y is 2x plus 3 raised to power 5, for instance. And here we are trying to differentiate y with respect to x. Okay? To differentiate y with respect to x in this type of scenario is very, very easy. First thing you have to do such differentiation is to define the terms of the variable. Since you have this, what do you do? Since you have this, what do? You have it that you redefine it that the term in the bracket, the term in the function is what we usually call our u. That's the u function. Okay? It is usually we denote it as our u. So in that scenario, what do you do? What do you do when you have such problems? So first thing you have to do for you to differentiate this type of problem is to term the term in the box, your u. So we can say let u be equal to 2x plus 3. Okay? So since we know that u is 2x plus 3, what we need to do is very, very simple. We just need to differentiate u because the formula is telling us differentiate y with respect to u and differentiate u with respect to x. So since u is this, you can now see that our y in terms of u, since u is this, our y in terms of u will be u to the power of what? 5. So that will be the value for what? U. So all we need to do, applying the chain rule formula, dy dx, will be equal to, or let's differentiate each term. We differentiate y with respect to u. So at this point, we are differentiating this function. Remember, we are told that when you are trying to differentiate a function with respect to x, like this, you just have to multiply the power to the constant and minus 1 from the power. So if you get that, what do? We are differentiating this function now. So what do? The power is 5. 5 times u to the power of 5 minus 1. So what do you get? 5 times u is 5u. What is 5 minus 1? Drop it in the comments. What is 5 minus 1? What is 5 minus 1? What is 5 minus 1? Drop it in the comments if you are following. Please like the live, okay? What is 5 minus 1? 5 minus 1 is 4, correct. So here we've differentiated y with respect to u. Then the next thing we have to do is to differentiate u with respect to what? X. Okay? What is then our u? Our u is 2x. So for you to differentiate the term u, which is 2x, you know that here, if you have x, this is just like power 1. So when you do 1 times 2x, then 1 minus 1. Okay? Differentiating a constant is what? If you know that, let me know. If you are following, let me know. Differentiating a constant is what? When you are differentiating a constant, what's the answer? Differentiating a constant gives us what? What will it give us? Is it 1 or 0? Differentiating a constant always gives what? 0. So here will be 0. Then 1 times 2 is what? What is 1 times 2? Please, let's be putting it, let's make it interactive. Okay? If I ask a question, you just help me provide the answer in the comments so that we can move on. So what is 1 times 2? 1 times 2 is what? What's the value? Thank you for saying 0. What's the value for 1 times 2? 1 times 2 is what? What is 1 times 2? 1 times 2 is 2. So we have it as what? 2x. 1 minus 1 is what? 1 minus 1 is what? What is 1 minus 1? 1 minus 1 is 0. So any number raised to power 0 is what? When you raise any number to a power of 0, what's the answer? If you are following, let's make it interactive, please. Any number raised to power 0 is what? Is 1. So instead of writing this, it just becomes 2. So differentiating y with respect to x is what? 2. But remember, our goal is to differentiate y with respect to x. Our goal is to differentiate y with respect to x. And this is the function. So differentiating y with respect to x, dy dx, is just the product of differentiating y with respect to u. So when we differentiated y with respect to u, we got 5u power 4, right? So what do we have? 5u power 4 times 5u power 4 times differentiating u with respect to x. When we differentiated u with respect to x, we got 2, right? So times 2. So look at how it looks like. What is 5 times 2? What is 5 times 2? If you are following, please, I want it to be interactive. Let's like the live, okay? And also follow when I say, what's 5 times 2? What is 5 times 2, please? Please like the live, please. What is 5 times 2? What is 5 times 2? 5 times 2 is 10. So we'll have it as 10u power 4. Okay? So since we are differentiating with respect to x, what do? we have to get rid of the u. So to get rid of the u, we have to put what? The exact value of the u. Remember, we are told that u is basically what? 2x plus 7 plus 3. So the differentiation will look like 10 into 2x plus 7 plus 5 plus 3 power 4. And this is the answer. Very, very simple. This is the answer. You said hi. Elvin, Eric, Edwin, thank you for saying hi. I appreciate. Thank you. Let us know where, Edric, where are you watching from? So let's look at the next function. Let's look at the next function. Let's say we are given y to be equal to, we have our y to be equal to 4x power 3 plus 2 plus 5 raised to power 11. Let's differentiate this with respect to x, okay? Let's differentiate this. Okay, you're from Liberia. Thank you so much. Please like the like. So what do? Remember, differentiating y with respect to x in a chain rule involves differentiating y with respect to u times differentiating u with respect to x. Okay? This is the general formula for such differentiation. So when you have this, it is very, very easy. First thing you have to do is to label your u. So we can say let u be equal to all this term in the box. And all the terms in the box is 4x cubed plus 5 raised to power 11. Okay? No, just 4x cubed plus 5. No raised to power 11. So that if you have this, you can now see that our y will be equal to u to the power of what? 11. Okay? This is now our what? Y. So the next thing we do is to differentiate y with respect to what? Differentiate y with respect to u. So this is our y. We are differentiating with respect to u. So let's do that together. Let's follow suit. So we'll multiply the power 11. So 11 times u to the power of 11 minus 1. Okay? 11 times u is 11u. Then 11 minus 1 is what? Let's know who is following. Drop it in the comments. 11 minus 1 is what? 11 minus 1 is what? 11 minus 1. Please, let's comment, okay? 11 minus 1 is what? 11 minus 1 is what? 11 minus 1 is 10. So this is differentiating y with respect to u. Then the next thing we do is just to differentiate u with respect to x. So to differentiate u with respect to x, this is our u. So what do we do when we are faced with such differentiation? Thank you for saying 10. The thing we'll do to differentiate something like this is very easy because this is the function we are looking at. So we have to do, we'll multiply the power to the constant. So we have 3 times 4, x power 3 minus 1. Okay? We multiply the power to the constant and minus 1 from the what? Power. So let's go again. 3 times 4 is what? Please, let's comment. 3 times 4 is what? What is 3 times 4? What is 3 times 4? 3 times 4 is 12. So we have it as 12x. What is 3 minus 1? Please, what is 3 minus 1? Let's comment, okay? What is 3 minus 1? 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 3 minus 1 is what? 2. So this is basically du dx. Okay? So when you have such situation, what do you get? You are trying to differentiate y with respect to x. So what do? You have to look at your du, dy, dx, dy, du. This is dy, du. 11u power 10. 11u power 10 times, the next one is what? 12x squared times 12x squared. Okay? So since we have 12x squared, what do you have? Let's know who is following. Let's know who I would like to mention to I'm an engineer student and I like math. Okay, thank you so much, Eric. Keep it up. So what do we do? Let's follow up together, okay? Let's follow up. 11 times 12. What is 11 times 12? Fastest finger, please. What is 11 times 12? What is 11 times 12? Please, let's comment, okay? What is 11 times 12? What is 11 times 12? 11 times 12 is 132, then x squared, then u power 10. Who can remind us what u is? Who can remind us what the value of u is? Who can remind us what the value of u is? The value of u. What's the value for you? What's the value for you? What's the value? Thank you for saying 132. Thank you. What's the value for you? Our u is basically 4x cubed plus 5. So dy dx is equal to 132 x squared into 4x cubed plus 5 power 10. Okay? This is differentiating the function with respect to what? X. So this is very, very easy and very, very simple to understand. Okay? Please, let's like the live. Please, let's like the live, please. Please, I beg you, let's like the live. Okay? Let's like the live so that we continue. Let's like the live. So we have another one. Y is equals to, the next one we'll look at is that y is equals to 2x power 6 plus 3 raised to power 4. Okay? Here we will try to differentiate this particular function using the usual method. Remember, the method we are going to use that is what? The chain rule. The chain rule says that differentiating y with respect to x is equals to differentiating y with respect to u times differentiating u with respect to x. So here we are going to label each function to its exact what? Value. Okay? So what do we do to do that? We have to let our u, it's always advisable to let the u be all the terms inside of the bracket. So what are the terms inside of the bracket? The terms inside of the bracket is 2x power 6 plus 3. Okay? Power 4. Okay? No power 4, please. My bad. No power 4. So that's it. Akasiliji, thank you for saying hi. Where are you watching from? So since you have this, we have to differentiate u with respect to x. This is the u. So what do? We multiply the power of the variable to the constant. So you multiply 6 to what? 2. So what do you have again? You have x power 6 minus 1. When you differentiate a constant, what do you get? When you differentiate a constant, let's comment, okay? What do you get? When you differentiate a constant, what do you get? When you differentiate a constant, what do you get? Please, let's comment. When you differentiate a constant, what do you get? If you differentiate a constant, you have 0. So no need of writing it. Okay? No need of writing it. So the next one we look at is 6 times 2 is what? What's the value for 6 times 2? What's the value for 6 times 2? What is the value for 6 times 2? What is the value for 6 times 2? 6 times 2 is 12. So the answer is 12x. 6 minus 1 is what? What is 6 minus 1? Thank you for saying 0 best. 6 minus 1. Okay, Eric, thank you for saying that. 6 minus 1 is 5. So you have it as this. So differentiating u with respect to x is basically giving us 12x by power what? 5. Thank you for commenting. Eric, thank you. So the next one we do is to differentiate y with respect to what? U. So remember, our y is basically y is equals to u4. Okay? So since you are differentiating it with respect to what? X, respect to u, we'll multiply the number to the power. So you have it as 4 times u, then 4 minus 1. So what's the value for 4 minus 1? What is the value for 4 minus 1? 4 minus 1 is what? Let's know who is commenting. Let's know who is there. Who is following? 4 minus 1 is 3, right? You have it as 4u power 3. So this is the function that we have. Remember to differentiate y with respect to x. Will now give us what? We'll multiply the first one we got, which is 12x power 5 to 4u power 3. Okay? What is the value for 12 times? What's the value for 12 times 4? 12 times 4 is what? What's the value for 12 times 4? What's the value for 12 times 4? What's the value for 12 times 4? 12 times 4 is 48. So the answer is 48x power 5. Then we have our u. We have to put back the value of u. Our u is 2x power 6 plus 3. 2x power 6 plus 3. Then the new power is what? 3. So this is just a simple way to what? A simple way we can easily differentiate a function using function of function or the chain rule. Okay, it's very easy and it's very simple to do. Okay, let us know where you're watching from and let us know how the class is moving. So it is very easy. Thank you for saying 48. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. So this is the easy answer. Okay, so differentiating a function is very, very easy. So far you understand the method. Let's look at this one. Y is equals to 3x minus 4 power 3, and power 8. Okay, let's try to differentiate this particular function. To differentiate a function like this, it is very easy. Remember, differentiating y with respect to x only allows us to differentiate y with respect to u multiplied by differentiating u with respect to x. This is the ideal formula for such differentiation. So let me know in the comments, what will be the value of u? Our u will be what? Write it in the comments. What's the value for u? Okay, thank you so much for that, Eric. What is the value for u? If you know that, write it in the comments. Our u is 3x cubed minus 4. Okay, so this is the u. So how will our y look like in terms of u? Y in terms of u will be what? Let's know who is following. Y in terms of u will be what? Y in terms of u will be what? Y in terms of u, this is u. In terms of u will be u power 8. Okay, so that will be the what? Value for what? Y. So since we have this, remember we have to differentiate y with respect to u. We are going to differentiate each of them. Okay, so how do we differentiate this? We multiply 8 to the constant and minus 1 from the power. So that will be basically 8 times u power 8 minus 1. So what's the value for 8 minus 1? What's the value for 8 minus 1, please? What's the value for 8 minus 1? What's the value for 8 minus 1? What's the value for 8 minus 1? 8 minus 1 is 7. So we have 8u power 7. Okay, we now have to differentiate u with respect to x. Okay, we now have to differentiate u with respect to x. Okay, how do we differentiate u with respect to x? It is very, very easy. Okay, it is very, very easy to differentiate u with respect to x. What do? This is the u. You have to do this. The power here is 3. So you have 3 times 3, x to the power of 3 minus 1. So differentiating a constant is giving us what? What's the value when you differentiate a constant? 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 When you differentiate a constant, you have a 0. Hi guys, let's be commenting, please. We have a 0. 3 times 3 is what? What's 3 times 3? What is 3 times 3, please? What is 3 times 3? What is 3 times 3? 3 times 3 is 9. So we have 9x. 3 minus 1 is what? What's the value for 3 minus 1? Thank you, Eric, for saying 9x. 3 minus 1 is what? What's the value for 3 minus 1? 3 minus 1 is 2. Okay? So we have 9x squared plus 9x squared. So since we are differentiating the function with respect to x, what we need to do, thank you, Eric, is just simple. We've differentiated the two. We got this and this. We have that dy dx, differentiating y with respect to x is equals to the first one, which is 8 u power 7 times the next one is what? 9x squared. 9x squared. Okay? So what's the value for 8 times? What's the value for 8 times 8 times 9? What's the value for 8 times 9? 8 times 9 is 72. You have 72. Oh, I forgot the x. X squared u power 7. Okay? So we have to replace back the exact value for our what? We have to replace back the value of our u. Okay? So what's the value of our u? The value of our u is simple. We have it as 72x squared into our u is this. We have it as 3x cubed minus 4. Then raised to the power of what? 7. So this is how to differentiate a function using chain rule. Okay? It's very simple. It's very simple. It's very simple to differentiate. Okay, a function like this. Okay? So far you understand the method properly, differentiating it will not be a reasonable problem. So far you know how to differentiate a function, basic differentiation, it will be very, very easy. Okay? So let's continue. Let us continue. So let's look at y is equals to 4x power 9 minus 8 minus 7 power 7. Let's let's differentiate this particular function. To differentiate it, we have to let u be all the term in the bracket. What is the term in the bracket? 4x power 9 minus 7. Okay? So if you have this as the term in the bracket, what will now be, how our y we're going to look at? Our y will now be equal to, this is u, which is all this term in the box. Our y will now be u power 7. Okay? Our y will be u power 7. So let's differentiate. So when we are differentiating y with respect to x, it is differentiating u with respect to x times differentiating y with respect to u. Okay? So this is the formula that we use to differentiate such function. So if you are following, I want you to differentiate y with respect to u. I want you to differentiate y with respect to u. Tell us the answer in the comments. If you are following, let's differentiate y with respect to u. Tell us the answer in the comments. So what do? This is y with the y du. You just multiply 7 u to the power of 7 minus 1. 7 minus 1 is what? What is the value of 7 minus 1, please? What's the value of 7 minus 1? The value of 7 minus 1 is 6. So the answer becomes 7u power 6. That's the answer for du, the y du. Then the next one we'll look at is differentiating. We are trying to differentiate u with respect to x. Differentiating u, which is 4x power 9. This will now be 4 times 9, x power 9 minus 1. So when you are differentiating, remember, when you are differentiating a constant, it is what? 0. When you are differentiating a constant, it is 0. So no need of writing this. So the next one we do is to check differentiating y with respect to x. And doing that is just the product of the two derivatives, because 4 times 9 is what? What is 4 times 9, please? Let's comment. What's the value of 4 times 9? What's the value of 4 times 9? What's the value for 4 times 9? What's the value for 4 times 9? What is the value for 4 times 9? Please, let's comment. What's the value for 4 times 9? What's the value for 4 times 9? 4 times 9 is 36. So we have it as 36x power 8. So 4 times 9 is what? 36. So we have it as 36 power 8. So the next one is the dy dx. So differentiating y with respect to x will now be equals to 36 x power 8 times, the next one is 7u power 6. So what's the value? What's the value? What's the value of 36 times 7? 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 Okay, let's look at it. 7 times 6 is 42. We'll drop 2. 7 times 3 is 21. 21 plus 4 is 25. Okay? So we'll have it like this. 21 plus 4 is 25. We'll have x power 8. Then u power 6. So here we are going to put back the exact value of our what? U. Okay? Our u is 4x power 9 minus 7. So we can see that differentiating y with respect to x will now be 4x power 9 minus 7. Sorry, will now be 252x power 8 into 4x power 9 minus 7 to the power of 6. And that's the what? Derivative. So differentiating a function is very, very what? Easy. Bye for now.